we respectfully acknowledge the Kaurna people as the traditional owners of the land in which this video was filmed.
Hi, I'm Crystal Kinsella. I'm a proud Jarwin and Wiradjuri woman, a supply diversity expert and a published author. Welcome to Meet the Mob, a YouTube series dedicated to showcasing Black excellence in business. Here I get to interview deadly First Nation business owners from across the country and learn about their why. Today I'm joined by Rebecca Wessels of Ochre Dawn, who will share with us her why she got into business and why she does what she does. So hey, Beck.
Hey.
My fellow Leo sister. I've been dying to get you on my show.
I've been dying to be on it. It's such a cool show.
Well, I've known you for some time, but how about you tell my audience who you are, where you come from, who's your mob?
Yes, sure. So I, people know me as Bex, you know me as Bex, more than Rebecca Wessels. That's a bit formal. It sounds like I'm in trouble or something. My mob, Paramount Nudnjetty, and really proud to represent culture in the work that I do every day. I'm a mum and wife. I've got a beautiful daughter who's about to turn 10 and stepson. So, and obviously run a business as well.
So tell us all about Ochre Dawn and what's really motivated you. You know, what's the why that sits behind that?
Yeah, so I guess for me, it struck me a bit last year actually what my why might be. And when my daughter and I were chatting about her day and somehow we were talking about some kids in class and I was asking about someone's surname and she wasn't sure. And I was like, well, don't you know it from roll call in the morning? And she's like, oh, no, Mum. When we do roll call, we just say Nina, Marnie, John, and then John says Marnie, I, and then, and I'm like, well, wait. Are you saying that you do roll call in Ghana, which is the traditional mob here in Adelaide? And she's like, yeah, Mum, that's just normal. And it struck me and I was like, oh, darling, I'm so happy that you think that's normal because when Mummy was your age, it wasn't normal. And
wouldn't have been heard of.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And also because, her and I and my mother and my sister and other extended family are really trying to reconnect with culture in these past few decades because, my mum's a survivor of the stolen generations. And so we didn't grow up being connected to mob. And so, now to hear my daughter saying that, speaking language in school, in like a public school is normal, and being able to see artwork and language and expressions of culture just in daily life when, just a little while ago, because, we're not that old, wasn't so normal. And so I just really have hope for the future that the work that I can be a small part of in my business, it can contribute to that in some way.
Yeah, that's so powerful, right?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. And like I've had a similar experience with my little guy, Cohen, with they just got him to help write a new acknowledgement of country at his daycare. Like, that's daycare. So it's great. No, you definitely do contribute in lots of ways. So let's unpack Ochre Dawn. Like, what do you do? Where are you doing it? All of those sorts of things.
Yeah,
Share us with.
Sure. So it's coming up to our 17th birthday. It's been a bit of a journey.
Are you that old, really? Come on.
I started in kindy.
Oh, my goodness.
But it's been a great journey. Initially for the first sort of 7 years was a side hustle business, one of those when I was in IT. And then I had a complete career change into youth work and had been running this little business on the side. It was always my dream to have my own business. My dad's entrepreneurial and have, I was working for the family business as a child, as we do. And so for me, that was a dream. And then when Miss Amaya was coming along, I said to my husband, hey, instead of maternity leave, can we think about me taking this business full time because it's not so little anymore. It's not a little side hustle, it's growing. And thankfully he was really supportive. And so then it became a full-time gig and we've grown, we've got a great team and here in Adelaide and but we work all across different corners of the country, all different industries as well. Essentially, branding and marketing services, everything from corporate apparel and promotional products, corporate gifts to like now office furniture and flooring and office
Wow.
fit outs, which is so exciting.
Yes.
So any way that company or organisation wants to celebrate their brand and their story in a visual way, seeing that come to life, whether it's something you wear or something you're sitting on.
Yeah.
And we also do a lot of wrap surfaces as well, so reconciliation action plans, which is a growing movement in the country too, and seeing, you know, really acting as a safe space for clients to come to when either they have no idea what a wrap is and how to go about one, or maybe they're on their third or fourth, but it's gone a little bit off the rails.
Yeah.
I'm sure you've got a couple of customers like that too, and they're it's just they've had lots of change and they don't know maybe how to bring things back aligned or get back on track. And so offering that safe space for them to come and say, can you help us out? We have a really big passion at Ochre Dawn to connect with other mob as well in their businesses. So if it's something that it's not our bread and butter, that we love to connect and refer people to other folks like yourself and other, you know, consultants or supply chain, you know, partners as well, which I think is really important, because procurement, as you know, is something that's people often find challenging. So sometimes we can be seen as a one-stop shop, but we'd rather introduce other partners so that, you know, organisations can have relationships with more than one business. Ideally.
Definitely. So in addition to that, you have done some advocacy work that I've seen a lot of through LinkedIn and other mechanisms, you know, around the rights of artists and protecting artists' rights. Do you want to speak into some of that?
Absolutely. That's our specialty is, I guess, working with First Nations artists on commercial projects. So it could be like a reconciliation action plan. It could be on products and, you know, anything from a lanyard to, as I said, office fit outs or something. And because what I found with the opportunity to work with First Nations artists, particularly in our industry, is that First Nations artwork always tells a story. Yeah. And when you work in marketing, it's about storytelling for business, right? So what a beautiful way to tell a story of that organisation's commitment to reconciliation or other messaging for different marketing campaigns they might be doing on Aboriginal health or something like that, and wanting to connect with their audience in a way that's beyond words. Yeah. And so on the one hand, for the clients to be able to do that is really impactful and special for them. And we could see that a lot of organisations were not quite sure how to go about connecting with artists. They were really afraid of doing the wrong thing, or you know, they wanted to ensure ethical engagement and they're paid properly and everything, which is great to hear. So we wanted to help them in that process logistically. But then also we were seeing a lot of artists really wanting to get into this space, but not quite sure how to value their work or what to do about licensing and royalties. And, you know, obviously working on commercial projects can be really challenging sometimes, you know, when there's budgets and timelines and all of those different things. So what I love is as well, we offer not just those commercial projects, but a retail avenue for royalties as well. If for an artist, you know, not everyone likes to work to a brief or to timelines and things, or it might just for their season of life not work. So instead, you know, if they've got an opportunity to make money from their art through producing clothing or accessories or furniture or something like that, then those royalties can be life-changing. Like, you know, the struggling artist suddenly dissipates because they're getting an ongoing income, which sometimes is a little bit of money and sometimes can be quite significant.
So you're like a real intermediary in that sense, and protecting those artists' rights, but also helping them to have a platform to have ongoing business.
Absolutely. Because it's still so real. I mean, just you see it all the time where people are not doing the right thing, you know, by artists, and that's really disappointing to see. You know, people buy a canvas and they suddenly think that they've got the right to go and make T-shirts from that canvas and profit from that artwork. And, you know, sometimes it's ignorance and sometimes it's not.
Greed. Yes, definitely.
Yes.
So 17 years in business. My goodness, I didn't know that. So I'm learning something new. So what's the future hold then? What's the legacy piece for you?
Yes, I think about that a lot. You know, so many of the people that you love connecting with are all about impact, and so are we, you know, in lots of different ways. You know, I think if coming back to that, you know, normalizing culture in our everyday society. Like, that's what I love. I would love to see that we can, as an organisation, have impact on the preservation and celebration of language and culture, and bring it into the everyday. You know, we work with sometimes supermarkets or hospitals or things, and seeing, the oldest living culture seeing the oldest living culture on the planet, not just be, acknowledged, but revered.
Yes.
Like, really respected in a way and celebrated in a way that's long lasting for generations to come.
Yeah. I can probably see some books coming out of this. I'm just thinking about that for you as another mechanism to cultivate.
I need some hot tips from you on book writing.
Well, I'm not a writer, but just have to get that one book out. That
makes you a writer now.
So look, if you had a key message to share with my audience, what they need to do next, or how they can help not just your journey, your business, but other First Nations businesses, what would it be?
I think the key, something I always preach on about is relationships, right? Like, because it's super impactful to a business to receive a purchase order, but it's even better when you've got a relationship with that business, so that therefore there's an ongoing commitment to one another, that there's a two-way, conversation around some of the challenging things in the industries that we work in, and just being able to have a cuppa and a yarn with somebody and saying, hey, how can we work better? This project's a bit challenging. How can we do better? What are even more opportunities so we don't just tick a box? And having relationships with elders and community members and, business owners and the like, those relationships are key to moving the needle forward in more impactful ways. Keep the purchase orders coming. But have a cuppa as well. I think that's really important.
Yeah, we don't want transactional stuff.
No.
We want to be deeply embedded. And the best way to have Indigenous business deeply embedded is through building the relationships.
It is.
So.
Yeah.
Well, thanks so much for coming and having a yarn with me today.
Absolutely.
It's been amazing.
Yes, I'm always happy to yarn with you.
So there you have it. I hope you've enjoyed the latest episode of Meet the Mob, and make sure you connect with Beck online, share her story with your networks. Until next time.